Today we're going to be talking about banned cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about banned cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's get started. The first card we're going to be talking about is Ancient Fairy Dragon. Ancient Fairy Dragon requires generic materials, which is one tuner and one non-tuner. Its effect is, once per turn, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand, but you can't conduct your battle phase during the turn you activate the effect. And then it has another once per turn effect where you can destroy as many field spells on the field as possible and then gain 1000 life points, then add one field spell from your deck to your hand. Now, first of all, let's start with the special summon a level 4 or lower from your hand first. So, special summoning now is very powerful. So if having like a free special summon like that is really good. And there's also a soft once per turn. If you don't know what that means, basically, if you have more than one copy of Ancient Fairy Dragon on the field, that means you can use it that many times. And then its other effect, which is also soft once per turn, where you can destroy as many field spells on the field and then gain 1000 life points. You can just, like, there's no field spells on the field and then you just still activate the effect and just gain 1000 life points, and then add a field spell from your deck to your hand. That's the terraforming effect, which, remember, terraforming is already limited to one because adding a card from your deck to your hand is really good. So, should Ancient Fairy Dragon be unbanned? Probably if they put a hard once per turn where you can only use the effect once per turn even if you have multiple copies of it on the field. And they can also they should make it so that you can only use one of the effects, not both of them, once per turn. Then it maybe could be unbanned, but possibly not. Or they could just add a once per duel effect on it. That would make it a bit more fair. The next card we're going to be looking at is Astrograph Sorcerer. It's a pendulum monster, which is level 7 dark attribute. Its pendulum effect is, during your main phase, you can destroy it and then special summon or put Stargazer Magician in your pendulum scale from your hand or deck. So that's a really good effect because shortening your deck is always a really good effect. So anything, add cards from your deck to your hand or send cards from your deck to your graveyard, can be really good cards. And then its monster effect is, if a card you have on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon him from your hand. So this can be really abusable because you can just destroy one of your cards and then you get a free special summon. And then you can choose one card in your graveyard or extra deck or a banished card that was destroyed this turn, and then add one monster of the same name from your deck to your hand. So you can just destroy one monster and then just get it back to your hand, which is very powerful. The rest of its effect is just to do with Supreme King's Archon isn't that broken, where you can just banish it and 4 monsters with Pendulum Dragon, Xyz Dragon, Synchro Dragon, Fusion Dragon, their names, and then special summon one Supreme King's Arc, which is not broken, but the rest of its effect is, and that's why Astrograph Sorcerer is banned. The next card we're going to be talking about is Blackwing Gofu the Vague Shadow. Its effect is, cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand while you control no monsters. So that's an easy summoning requirement for a monster that can't be normal summoned or set. When it's special summoned from your hand, you can special summon 2 Vague Shadow tokens, but they can't be tributed or used as synchro material. You can banish it and one more tuner monster you have on the field, and then Target one Blackwing Synchro monster in your graveyard whose levels equal the total levels of the banished monsters. Then you special summon it, and then it's treated as tuner. Here's why this is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like really good, but it's still really good in a Blackwing deck. Here's why. So, if you had it and another tuner monster, that means there's two tuners, which you probably couldn't synchro summon with it. So you could have just destroyed them too, and then had a synchro monster in your graveyard, and then special summon that one and banish them two, which would then mean and then that monster isn't then a tuner monster. So then you can use that monster for another synchro summon for an even bigger monster, which is why it's banned. The next card we're going to be looking at today is Blackwing Steam the Cloak. Its effect is, if it leaves the field, you can special summon one Steam token, and then if it's in your graveyard, you contribute one monster, special summon it from the graveyard. It is a once per duel effect, however, but there is also another downside effect where if you use it to synchro summon, which is a tuner, all of the other synchro materials must be Blackwing monsters. But that's not really like that big of a downside effect, because if you're running a Blackwing deck, then obviously you're gonna have Blackwing monsters. And so this effect is really good because when it leaves the field, you can just go for a synchro summon, and then since it would leave the field, it would leave behind a token, and then after it leaves behind a token, you can then just if you summon a Blackwing synchro monster, then a lot of the Blackwing monsters, they can special summon themselves when there's other Blackwing monsters on the field. So then you can special summon a Blackwing monster and tribute it to bring it back. And then if you have more of those monsters that can special summon themselves, you can go for another synchro summon, which is why this card is banned. However, is it really that powerful? That is a debatable question. The next card we'll be looking at is Blaster Dragon Ruler of Infernos. Its effect is, if it's in your hand or graveyard, you can banish a total of 2 fire and or dragon type monsters from your hand or graveyard, except it obviously, and then special summon it. During your opponent's end phase, if this card was special summoned, return it to the hand. You can discard this card and one fire monster to the graveyard, and target one card in the field, destroy it, which is a really good effect. Because then, when you discard it and one fire monster, that means it goes to the graveyard, where you can special summon it again. And then, if it's banished, you can add one fire dragon type monster from your deck to your graveyard, from your deck to your hand. This is a really good effect since it can just recycle itself by adding another blaster to your hand, which is really good. And and you can easily get like fire monsters in your hand or graveyard, because now there's obviously the Salamangreat archetype where you can just easily get monsters in your graveyard or hand. So that's why Blaster Dragon Ruler of Infernos is banned, even though it was banned before Salamangreats were released. The last monster we're going to be looking at today is Block Dragon. Its effect is, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 earth monsters from your hand and or graveyard. Rock monsters you control cannot be destroyed except by battle. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add up to 3 rock type monsters from your deck to your hand whose levels equal 8. And it's hard once per turn. So, let's start off by its summoning requirement. Special summoning by banishing cards is a really easy summon, and Banishing 3 earth monsters in a rock deck can be really easy. You can play like Adamancipator decks. They have a lot of rock monsters, so you can probably do that. And then rock monsters can't be destroyed except by battle. So then if your opponent tries to destroy your cards, they have to destroy it by battle. So if you juice up their attack points, it's gonna be really hard for them to actually do that. Especially because a lot of the decks today look at card effects, not attack points. And so since it says that only battle can destroy a rock type monster, that it itself is a rock type monster, so you have to destroy it by battle. And then when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add up to 3 rock monsters from your deck to your hand whose levels equal 8. So Pot of Greed is banned, and like very famously banned, because you draw 2 cards, which is a very powerful effect. But this, you get to add 3 rock type monsters from your deck to your hand, not to mention the fact that you get to choose what cards you want to add to your hand, which is really powerful. And that's why Block Dragon is banned. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.